you've ever thought, I'm doing a lot, but my business isn't growing the way it should, this video is for you. Because most entrepreneurs don't have a strategy problem. They have a data problem, not because they don't have enough data, but because they're sitting on a mountain of it and only using about 20%. So today I want to show you the 5 types of data every builder should be extracting from their business and why this changes everything. Because most people evaluate their business like this. Did it work or did it fail? And then they either celebrate or panic or start over. But when you look at results in just the numbers and just the binary of did it work or did it not work, if that is the way you're going to frame everything, every decision feels kind of high stake. Every outcome feels personal and risky, and growth will become slow. So the fastest growing entrepreneurs that I work with don't just collect number data. They extract 5 kinds of data from every move. So let's walk. First is the results data. This is going to be, what did people click on? What revenue came in? What were the amount of opt-ins, conversion, views, sales? Results do matter. These numbers matter. But results alone don't tell you always what to do next, right? They only tell you what happened. And the other 4 are going to tell you how to grow. So definitely want to pay attention to the numbers, not make them personal, make them informative, and look into them to see, what is this telling me? What are the small tweaks I can do to expand or scale? What are the small experiments to try to change the results a bit? What worked and how do I amplify it? What didn't work in the way that I wanted it to? And what's a small tweak I can test to change that? Next is resistance data. This shows up before and during action. It looks like hesitation, procrastination, overthinking, that urge to tweak instead of execute, to keep tweaking it. This is not a character flaw, it's information. Resistance tells you when something feels misaligned, or it might be inviting you to get a little piece of clarity, or it might just be where growth is happening. If you are expanding your what I call worthy discomfort, you are stepping into that worthy discomfort. It's there will be resistance there, and that's not a problem. It's actually a part of growth. And if you can look at resistance as information instead of a problem that needs to be solved, then you can answer that resistance in a way that serves you. Does it mean that I just need one piece of information to go grab? Is it that I need to remind myself of something that I'm not really connecting to right now? Is there just a small tweak to be made? Or is this just the normal resistance that comes up with doing something new, doing something different? When you treat resistance as data instead of drama, when you stop making the idea that resistance means something's wrong with you or that you shouldn't be doing this, when you stop fighting yourself and start learning from yourself, there's no stopping you. When you treat that resistance as data, you can keep moving forward in a way that supports you and works with you instead of pushing yourself through it, which only leads to burnout, right? Third is energy data. This is the data that most people never track, and it's actually pretty costly because energy data is how something feels before you do it, while you're doing it, and even after it's done. So you want to look at what drains you, what energizes you, what feels heavy versus steady. Energy is not an emotion to override. It's actually a signal to interpret. And again, like resistance, you want to tune in because sure, you could force yourself to feel differently about a particular activity or push through low energy, but is that the best use of your time and of your most valuable asset? Because what you could actually be doing is work with how your energy responds to particular actions, particular times of day, particular days of the week, and build a system of energy use that works for you and for your business. Over time, this data, this energy data, helps you design a business and schedule you can actually sustain, that you can scale, and that will evolve as you do at every energy level and every identity level. Energy data is incredible. And I highly recommend working with your energy data as it currently is and letting it evolve and expand as you learn and work with yourself instead of trying to force yourself into something different. Fourth is process data. This is where we answer questions like, how long did this really take? Did it take less time than we thought? Did it take more time than we thought? What tended to slow me down during it? What was easier than I expected? What is inviting delegation, automation, or collaboration? This type of data is incredibly practical, right? It helps you plan future actions based on reality and not assumption. It also makes experimenting more normalized. It makes it more nervous system friendly. It doesn't have to be right the first time. You're learning from the process. You have to try a process before you can learn from it and adapt it to work for you. Last is identity data. And this is the quietest and the most powerful type of data. Identity data is about who you are becoming as you move through the process of building and growing your business and staying aware of that evolution. I can tell you that oftentimes our actions are actually moving ahead a little bit faster than our identity is moving forward, a little bit faster than our concept of ourselves is moving forward. I see this all of the time in the identity work I do in embodied society and in claim, where we're already being the person, incredible humans that are building these amazing businesses. They're already taking action like the person who runs their next level of business, their dream business, but they're seeing themselves as a previous identity, maybe even sometimes a couple identities back, but they move forward. And this is important because when we have this identity lag, we're solving for problems that no longer exist. We're remaking decisions that we've already made, and we're spinning in questions that have already been answered. So it's a waste of our beautiful growth and expansion. So this is where I recommend starting a practice of being impressed with yourself. And this is not ego, this is strategic connection to who you are, where you are, and where you're headed. So you're always aware of your capacity to grow, to overcome, to endure. So this is where you notice all of where you've stretched and expanded your edges. Did you stay with yourself when it was uncomfortable? Did you recover faster from doubt than you used to? Did you do something 10 minutes faster? It's noticing how you've changed, how you've expanded and evolved. This is where self trust deepens and identity shifts happen. Not because everything is working out perfectly, but because you are embodying that you that decide and learn. You're recognizing that you are always evolving without abandoning yourself. So you can see that when we reduce everything results into worked or didn't work, did it meet my expectations or not meet my expectations? We're throwing away so much valuable data and actually a lot of the value of your experience because it all matters, right? But when you extract these five types of data, every action becomes informative, every result useful. Moving forward becomes lighter instead of heavier. Success is created in the data, not in the drama, not in the overriding yourself, not in the did this work or didn't this work. When you start extracting all five types of this data, something shifts. You stop making everything mean something about your worth. You stop starting over. You learn faster. And speed of learning is what creates momentum. The builders who grow the fastest aren't more confident. They're just faster to decide, ex- extract the data, and adjust. If you're doing a lot in your business, but your growth feels slower than your effort, the real question isn't what strategy am I missing? It's what identity am I leading from right now? That's exactly what the self trust identity map will show you. It takes about 3 minutes and it will tell you where you're leading from now in a beautiful way to love where you are now. But it also will tell you where your growth might be being limited and what your next level is actually asking of you. The link is in the description. And if this was helpful, I'd love to know which of the 5 types of data you've been ignoring because most people already have what they need. They just haven't been extracting